I believe it was either Shade 45 or it was like a little series that that Sway is doing for the most part. So kind of talk about that, how you got involved with Sway, dude, because he's a huge figure in the rap game.
Well, I knew Sway I knew him for a very long time. Over the years, you know, we just at different events we just passed by each other.
Yeah.
We never really got to chop it up. But I had my boy, my man Stan the Man, shout out to Stan the Man. He hooked me up with Sway, and he introduced me to him for the first time like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And he finally called him back and was like, "Yo, I'm coming out with this new Overtime series.
Yeah. That's what
I know you mentioned your mans, you know, Frank." And he invited me over, and I did the thing, you know. So,
dope, dude. So I checked out Frank's YouTube page. I'll put the link right here in the YouTube video also. But you've been making music videos for like 11 years now. No, you can also take that mic out if it's not comfortable.
Nah,
whatever
that's
you
cool,
need. All right, cool.
Yeah, for a long time. I've been doing music since I was 11.
So Frank Castle, the name, dude.
Yeah.
Great rapper name, bro. But that came from, I mean, Big Pun? Is that
Yeah.
where it came from the most part?
It's inspired by him because he's one of my favorite rappers growing up. So, you know, I looked up to him, so I wanted to pay homage to him because I feel like nowadays he doesn't get the respect he deserves.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Everybody forgets about him, you know? So when you look at Frank Castle, you know it's the government name of the Punisher, the character, the comic book character.
Marvel character, right?
I wanted to take that in reference to pay homage to him. So, you know, every time you hear Frank Castle, you hear Big Pun.
So let me ask you this. Why do you think that Big Pun these days is not getting as much recognition? Just like in general, you know, when he came up at the same time kind of as Pac and Biggie, like, I mean, you rarely ever hear Big Pun songs or ever really any mention of them.
I mean, he's not in a lot of people's top fives, which I think he should be because he's an underrated lyricist, like one of the best at the time when he was alive. And I don't understand. Like, I think it was due probably to his death. I'm not sure. Because he didn't necessarily get killed or something like that or an accident. It was like, you know, he was obese and stuff like that. He didn't take care of himself. So I don't know if that played a part.
Where did he
in
grow
how
up?
people looked at him.
Where did he grow up, by the way?
Bronx.
Okay, in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he definitely grew up in, like, the New York hip-hop scene. Maybe right. He just wasn't around long enough or, like, didn't have maybe enough hits at the time, something like that?
Let me see. His first album came out in 1998.
Yeah.
And he died in 2000.
Oh, damn.
So it wasn't that long, you know?
No.
It was just like, I mean, like Biggie. It was like Biggie made his introduction in 94.
Yeah.
And he died in 97. So he had like a year, 3 years more, you know? But I don't know, man. I don't know why he isn't mentioned a lot. Like, people don't, I don't know. I have no idea.
So you say honestly, for the most part, he's not in people's top five, which I'll agree with. Like, I've never really heard Big Pun mentioned.
You never heard anybody
ever.
say, you know, Jay, Nas, Pun.
Maybe they'll say like
nobody...
Big L, Big Pun in the same sentence, something like that. So then I don't want to put you right on the spot right now, but you bring up top five.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about top five. Who you got right now?
I'll tell you the same thing I told Rosenberg.
Okay.
Right?
P. Rosenberg, by the way, for those of you who don't know.
Rosenberg. My top five is the same, but in no order. It's Nas, Jay-Z, Rakim, Kool G Rap, and Big Pun.
So a lot of New York guys.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah. Because like that's the type of like music I grew up on.
Yeah.
You know, so like way back when I was like 10 or 9, I had this like Teddy Ruxpin as a kid. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a teddy bear that had a cassette player in it. So my cousin used to have these tapes, and my brother, he had these tapes also, and he mixed it up, and that was what was in those tapes. It was Rakim, Kool G Rap, Road to the Riches, Nas, Illmatic, you know, Big Pun, Capital Punishment. It was, everything was in there. So, you know, that gravitated towards me, and yeah.
I know for the most part you talk about how your brother kind of put the hip hop bug in you, but did you have like any influences in like the buildings that you were living in or the area, just being in Chelsea?
Of course, big time.
Do you have any guys that are right now, you know, like doing it maybe as big as you, or guys who were at a certain level and maybe they got in some sort of trouble or they just didn't pursue the passion?
Well,
how about that?
I had people that there's no one that has gotten as far.
As
you know, like, yeah.
Maybe
like
Whoopi Goldberg, right?
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg, right? Like, yeah.
from the same building.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, shout out to Whoopi. And the Waynes, they live like on Fulton.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that too.
Yeah,
they live
Waynes.
like a couple blocks
Yeah,
down.
so-
Is that 23rd Street, Fulton?
That's no, that's around 17th,
17th, 18th,
19th,
there?
18th. Yeah,
Okay.
that area.
Right.
So but no, there hasn't been any like MC, a rapper or artist or
Yeah.
anything like that. We have like DJs and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's not really to a high stature of like a DJ Premier or a Dr. Dre or something
yeah.
like that. You know.
So when you put out West Side Story in 2019, this is like your first EP?
Nah, it's
Or you had
my
something in
second,
2017
my
too,
second.
also,
I had
right?
Downtown Kids EP and then West Side Story EP.
Okay, so what do you think it came out right before the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think the plan is moving forward? You're getting all these hot spots, hot interviews and shit like that. What's the plan moving forward?
When it came out, like the pandemic was just arriving, so it was like I was kind of stuck. I was like, damn, man, what the fuck? Like, I don't know if I can curse.
No, bro, curse.
Fuck! But, it was just coming out, and I was like, damn, man, like, how the hell? I'm kind of stuck. Like,
Sure, man.
I wanted to shoot a lot of videos, and then
Okay.
they have us on quarantine, and it was just all messed up. So, I didn't really get to, like, do the things I wanted to do with that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to shoot a video with Fred the Godson, God rest his soul. He passed away because of COVID.
Oh, damn.
Ill lyricist from the Bronx.
Okay.
We didn't get that chance to shoot that video.
So when you put out Mamba, that was like one of your bigger hits kind of around
January,
that time, right?
No, January of
20
this year. I dropped the January of this year.
Okay.
So it's on my new project, which I can't mention right now, but it's coming out.
All right, dope.
So I
dude.
wanted to preview it.
So growing up in Chelsea, man, everybody who's watching, listening, you wouldn't really think of Chelsea and then think about projects, something like
Right.
that. When you think about Chelsea, you think about a bunch of freaking white kids who maybe look like me or whatever. And then, bro, like you even see in the neighborhood, like these were filled with parking lots, before
Right.
these big ass
Yeah,
buildings
yeah,
came
yeah.
up. So what has it been like kind of just seeing, I don't know how old you are exactly, but growing up in Chelsea.
I'm 33.
And then,
Which
and then.
is crazy because people don't think I look.
Yeah, dude, I was going to say, you look like maybe like 26, 27, bro.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah. But just in general, like you're seeing the Avenues School. For those of you who don't know, Avenues cost
Avenues
probably
on 10th, yeah.
$50,000 a year.
Crazy.
So what's that been like, just kind of seeing this neighborhood develop, and have you felt like it's changed at all? For the better or worse? What do you think?
It definitely has changed. It definitely changed. A lot of things changed, like the mom and pop stores. You don't see
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
So that's mostly what's missed, But you still got Aki's on the corner.
Yeah,
So,
word.
But other than that, the mom and pop stores is like gone, man.
So do you have any kind of gigs that you were doing before you started rapping? Were you playing like any sports? Like what were you doing?
Hip hop has been my life, man. I can't even remember what I was. I wanted to be a basketball player when I was a kid, but it just didn't pan out. So like I was just distracted in school, and I don't know. I just didn't. It didn't work. So music has always been with me since a kid. Like even before I started writing rhymes, my brother had introduced me to all types of 80s movies, including B Street, Crush Groove, and those are hip hop movies, historic movies. And I was like, wow, that type of stuff is happening outside. That's cool, you see it in a movie, like, oh shit. And it was right there I've been hooked. I didn't want to be nothing else. I want to be an artist. I want to be an MC.
Well, were a lot of your friends kind of doing the same thing?
I had some friends that were rapping, yeah, and like I was kind of shy at first. I was like, I don't know if I want to get into this. And then, like, in Chelsea they have a place called Hudson Gill. Shout out to the Hudson Gill, where they all the kids in the community, they go there to play basketball and do arts and craft and learn trades and stuff like that. And they had a video class that we used to go to as kids. And they taught us how to use the computers and edit and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And make music. And, you had the local MCs and people that rapped already, that were already involved in that were older than me. And someone, one of my boys, Kaz, shout out to Kaz, he had told me, he was like, yo, you got a dope voice, man. You should write something.
Yeah. And when
So
was that?
That was like 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Like, really? You know, I didn't really think of me as a rapper. So I wrote, and I wrote a rhyme, and we shot a video, and I never looked back.
So for the most part, have you had people like that are still involved in your life, that they've been involved in your life and producing and maybe shooting videos for like the past few years, or have you kind of had to, you know, pick a producer from Brooklyn, the Bronx, or stuff like that?
It was like that for a while.
Yeah.
But right now I'm working with my boy Low Music. Shout out to Lolo. We grew up in the same building.
Oh wow,
yeah. But we never really got a chance to link up like this. We're working on a project.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It's just timing is crazy, man.
Totally, bro.
Before that, I was working with a lot of producers.
I think you're good on sound. I just want to.
Yeah. I can hear myself.
Oh, okay.
I was working with Static Selector. Shout out to Static Selector on Shade 45.
Okay.
You know, I rhymed on one of his beats before, and like a lot of producers from Toronto. Shout out to my guy Talent Ted in Toronto. Danny D in Miami, you know, like it's a lot.
Place.
Yeah, it's all over.
Yeah.
A lot of producers that mess with me, so you know, but there weren't any producers that was from where I was from, you know, until recently.
And you're saying he was in your building? Like
yeah, like
like
I lived on the third floor. He lived on the 5th floor.
That's hilarious.
Seriously, like
you didn't even need to take the elevator, bro.
No, I was always in his crib, and like. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like, he's a little bit older than me. So, you know, in that age bracket, they already had, like, rappers that they were messing with.
Yeah.
So, I guess that was the timing. Like, I wasn't really, like, rapping at that time.
Okay.
I was just spectating. You know, and then I got into my groove, and I just never stopped writing.
So, I mean, you talk about, you know, writing and just getting into your groove. You know,
right.
like, in starting this podcast, I probably started about, like, 2.5 years now.
Okay.
And then my comedy career, stand-up and shit, like, 3.5 years. And then before that, I was doing
That's
improv,
difficult to get
too.
into, man.
Sure,
That's
man.
difficult.
But at the same time, man, like, if you're working a job that you're not passionate about,
right.
and you're passionate about something else, you know, right away, yes, obviously that paycheck that's coming in at the end of every week, you're like, all right, perfect. I could pay my rent. I can maybe get some takeout food.
That's the American dream, man. That's the American dream.
Then,
to do something to make a living off of something you love is the American dream.
Exactly, bro. So, I mean, that's what really drew me to comedy, and then doing shit like this, I get to speak with interesting dudes like you all the time.
Okay.
So, like, in terms of growing up, man, in the projects, you know, people hear about it all the time. People don't really know firsthand. You know, people will see like buildings that look the same, like, oh, that's the projects. I don't really know what it looks like inside there. So I guess kind of give us a deeper dive into what it was like growing up, like how everything in terms of like family and then friends, like was everything focused around where you live for the most part?
Well, in my house, I had a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was, let's see, me, my sister, my brother, my dad, and my mom. And it wasn't enough for us. So, you know, we had to, like, manage. You know, my dad slept in the living room. And, you know, it was rough at times.
Yeah.
You know, it was rough at times. It wasn't like, I wouldn't say, like, gentrified now. You know, before, back then, it wasn't, like, these big buildings. And you had more mom and pop stores and, you know, things that supported the community. And, I don't know. It was just so different, man. It was just different time. It was a different time.
Well, now even like across the street from like I guess like nearer where you live, they have like townhouses that are selling for like 10 mil.
Right,
you know, like crazy shit like that.
Crazy. I think J-Lo like purchased the apartment in the parking lot like across the street.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, bro. And also Jeff Bezos moved in on 26th Street.
Look at that.
J-Lo's on 26th Street. Frank Castle.
Like, yo, bro. Like,
literally. It's funny, man, to see how Chelsea has really changed. I mean, over the last, I could say 10 years, but also 20 years, 30 years.
It's crazy.
It's been like all over Manhattan for the most part.
But yeah, man, that's my home, you know.
So are you going to be here for good unless like some sort of project brings you out to LA or Miami, maybe like Georgia or something like that? New York born and bred?
I can see myself living in LA, but you know, I will always come back home.
Have you been out there a bunch in LA?
Yeah, I've been in LA.
Bro, I hate LA, man.
I performed in the Mayan Theater a few years ago. I opened up for Mos Def.
Wow.
And Inspector Deck.
Wow, that's great.
It's crazy because on the way over there, me and my team at the time, we had ran into we were going to passing by first class, and I looked to my left, and then I see RZA. So I'm like, what that was the RZA. Like, yo, this is the RZA. Like,
yeah.
I was like
Freaking
shocked.
Wu-Tang Clan for those of you who don't
RZA.
know.
I was like, oh shit, it's the
RZA.
RZA. And this lady behind me was like, can you hurry up? I'm like, yo, hold up, this is the guy. What the fuck you talking about? Like, this is the RZA. The fuck, lady, you better chill out. So I just gave him a pound and all that. I didn't want to bother him.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk to him more.
Sure.
But we were in coach and he was in first class.
Most of the time,
so
bro, you'll get your chance, man.
It's crazy. It was that was crazy though, but it was a dope experience.
Nice.
It was like my second time in California.
Okay.
Cali's dope though, man. You know, I like Cali. You know, they embraced me
Sure.
like I was one of their own.
Nice.
You know? They the thing is with them, they like the origins of other people's music. It's like they don't want to listen to New Yorkers that sound like Southern artists. You know what I'm saying? They want to hear you sound like New York artists.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
they like that real rap, boom bap, gritty shit. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's the difference between them and a lot of places.
Bro, let me tell you why I don't like LA. I just don't like the driving, man. That's killer. Because here, like anyone could tell you wherever they're at, you could be there easy in 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Freaking, you're up in 188th Street, you could be down here in 30 minutes, like easy. The thing is, in LA, I feel like it just takes a long time. But whatever.
It's a bigger state, though.
Yeah, that's true. I've been in LA a bunch of times, and obviously, if projects bring me back out there, then I'll go there. But New Yorker for life, for the most part, man.
Definitely.
That's funny you mentioned RZA. So I was at a party and Meek Mill was there, and like Meek for the most part, bro, is like one of my favorite rappers. And I know like verses that he's done on like Flamers One.
Okay.
And like one of his freestyles. So I was like, hey, should I go up to Meek right now and like just start spitting one of his freestyles? And just like the times that are just like, it's just sometimes you just feel like it's just not the right time, and maybe you'll get that opportunity again. But yeah, bro, I completely feel the same thing, especially when it's like one of your idols. You're like, yo, what am I supposed to do right now?
Speaking of that, I'm infamous, if you know me. I'm infamous of running up on people. So, before like people knew who I was, I had to do that to get my name out. Like that's how I met Rosenberg. Pete, it wasn't intentional. Like, well, we wanted to like reach out to some DJs at Hot 97 at the time, and we went to Hot 97 at 6 a.m, like 4 or 5 years ago. We went there at like 6 a.m, cold, blistering cold, and I wanted to actually talk to DJ Enough, and I wanted to rhyme for him.
Where's he at right now? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
DJ Enough is on 197, but he's on like a different show. He has his own show, the Heavy Hitters or something like that.
Right.
But we went to go approach him, and he never arrived there. Like we went there. We was at 6 a.m. He was like, "Yo, when's the earliest that they could be going to work?" Like 6, 5 in the morning. So we went there. None of them came up. But Pete came up down the block, and I approached him. I was like, "Hey, I'm an artist. Da 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 da. Listen to my shit." And he was like, "All right, cool." So I didn't hear from him, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, we got to go back." So we did this for like 2 weeks straight, and we saw him every day. He was like, it was just an excuse every day. It was like, "Oh, my CD doesn't work, or I lost it, or it doesn't work on my Mac."
You gave him a CD.
Yeah, we gave him a CD. And it was the Downtown Kids EP that was out at the time. And it was just an excuse every day. I even like got him like I even studied him and was like, he loves 45s. So I was like, yo, let's get like a bunch of 45s like as a gift for him. He was like, all right, cool. Yeah. So we went there. And we gave him a bunch of 45s, and it was like an excuse still.
Explain 45s to people who aren't.
45 vinyls.
Yeah.
Vinyls is small, inch vinyls. But he took the gift or whatever, and it was just another excuse. Until like the second week. He was just like, yo, you can't keep coming to my job like this. I'm like, yo, just listen to my shit.
Yeah.
You know? So he's like, you know what? Here, take my personal email, send me two clean records. So I was like, all right, cool. I sent it to him, and he played it on the radio.
Dope.
A week.
And then, so he played it on the radio, and then
it still wasn't over. I still had to.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, that wasn't the end of it.
No. It was still. I had to work 6 more months, like on building a relationship with him, because I didn't know him.
Yeah.
And every event, we saw each other. He was at SOBs. I paid to get in there. We bought drinks. We chopped it up.
I saw B.O.B. there, by the way, like 8 years ago. I saw.
All right. And we went to the Highland Ballroom, Everywhere he went, I was there.
Sure.
So, after a while, I sent him a record called Bay off of the Butter mixtape that I had dropped. And he was just like, yo, let's do an interview on Friday. Let's do it.
So, do you ever meet Cypher Sounds?
We passed by Cypher.
Okay.
That same day, like one of those days. And he's like, yo, what are you doing out here? And I was like, yo, I want to, like, listen to my shit. Like, I gave Pete my shit. Yeah. He's like, yo, nobody does this no more. It's not the 90s.
You sound exactly like him. That's so funny.
It's snowing. Like, what are you doing?
So I wanted to touch something that recently I heard in the news. You hear about the Fetty Wap and him just getting jammed up in a huge, like, drug ring operation?
I heard he was around. I didn't really, like, look into it.
So basically, like, when I was reading this, what I kind of gathered from this was that, like, he signed a record deal. It was not, like, a good deal at all.
Okay.
Got, like, a big advance up front. And then just, like, the more months I got on, he just wasn't getting paid. Got involved with his boys, and they started some sort of, like, drug situation. And then, he got jammed up with, like, a few $1 million in drugs.
Jesus Christ.
So I feel like maybe nowadays we won't see it as much, but, like, within, like, the last 20 years, I mean, there's been some shitty 360 record deals signed. And 360, I mean, like, they basically give you, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, they give you, like, $1 million advance, and then you have to pay back that $1 million in sales.
Recoup
and then on top of that, you get the interest, so you have to recoup their investment, whatever it is. Have you seen any rappers, like, recently that have just signed a bad deal? And I know you can't really talk much about it, but like, what kind of deals are you looking for?
I've been over some bad deals.
Can you tell us about one that maybe you've been offered?
I can't really discuss it, but yeah, I've been offered some shitty shit.
Yeah,
and I walked away from it.
Yeah,
and I was just like, you know what? It's not worth it. It's my royalties and masters is not involved. I can't do it. So. I can't. If it says 360, I can't do it. What I would do is a venture partner deal.
Okay.
Like if I have my own label, I would do like a venture with like a Def Jam or something like that.
So how would that work, kind of?
A venture deal is like something that like say like Kanye West has. He has his label, Good Music.
Yeah.
And it's under Def Jam.
Okay.
So let's say hypothetically, like they'll take 1% out of whatever the label makes, and then everybody else makes whatever, and they keep their royalties, their masters. Kanye's and he has all that handled. The major just distributes them and takes their 1%.
Have you seen? I mean, I saw this for the first time with an artist, Tory Lanez. I guess he was like selling NFTs.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Bro, I'm kind of confused on it too. Like I talk about it sometimes here on the podcast, but I think it's just basically like, let's say you are selling tickets for your concert. Okay. You sell like each NFT separately, like $10, whatever. Okay. And then your next concert, you're selling the NFTs for $20.
All right.
So like every time that you have a concert forward, like my first NFT becomes more valuable, and I get a percentage off of it every time that you do like a new concert, and you get a percentage. I'm not really 100% sure. Bro, it's like hilarious. Dude, it's like us talking like in 20 years, we're gonna look back on this and be like, bro, it was just like the internet when people were like, what the fuck is an email? What's that symbol?
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll become like more clear and stuff where the artists are benefiting way more, because it hasn't been the artist game.
The Migos had like a NFT with like a video game. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah. I don't even know how that works. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about that.
I'll get hip. I'll get hip after it.
Yeah. So what else is up, man? I mean, give me some more personal insight on your life, bro. We talked a little bit about your career here. If you have any questions here for myself, Ted Jones, or the Ted Jones World audience. But, I mean, basically, the reason Frank is on here, great upcoming artist. You guys listen to his tracks. Check out his YouTube page, was the DaRealFrankCastle.
Yeah.
And I'll put that link right here in the Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, the whole nine. But basically, we're just checking in on an upcoming artist. So who's your favorite artist right now, man?
Right now,
I can ask
my
you something
favorite
like
artist.
That. I know you got like some West Side Gun kind of flair. Something like that.
I mean, I listen to Griselda and stuff like that, but
yeah.
I love Kendrick Lamar.
Wow.
I love him, man. I love what he's doing. I'm a big fan of him. ever since he was.
We all got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah,
I think that was on your Instagram. You wrote that quote.
Like, I love Kendrick Lamar. I love what he's doing out on the West Coast. He's not your typical West Coast artist. He doesn't sound like a West Coast artist. Like, if you hit a beat, Kendrick Lamar just rap like on some, like, he's dope, man. Not only does he, that's what makes an artist great. When they could do the freestyle shit and then they could do the music too. That means something to people, Like, a lot of artists struggle that. They struggle with that. Like, you have artists that are like, they're good on the freestyles, they could kill it, but then they struggle with writing records.
Oh, is that your phone? My bad. I thought that was my phone. Yeah, you're getting a ring. No, I hear you for that.
Or it's backwards. Like, some of them are like, good at writing songs, but then when it comes to like the freestyle tip, it's like, I don't want to.
One of the sicker freestyles I've seen recently was I think it was DaBaby. I can't remember what it was on.
Okay.
It's like, shout out your homeboy, yeah, with a diaper.
DaBaby's pretty good.
Like, who else is good? We were trying to figure out a date to get him on the podcast. What's his name? Ain't no comparison either. We arrogant. Simone. Shit, bro. I forget. I feel bad for messing up his name, but he never came on.
Who's that?
He's like 2 Chainz.
Where's he from?
Bro, I don't know. I forget. I feel bad I'm messing up his name here, but I think he's a New York guy.
Okay,
he's doing some sick freestyle. Big Homie is his song, bro. As soon as I freaking see his name, I'm gonna.
It's probably somebody new that I don't even know.
Big Homie. Yeah. Anyway, he was freestyling and it was dope. But so for the most part, who are you looking towards to maybe collab with, like a New York artist? If you can talk about any of that, something that's maybe in the works. In the works.
Yeah, I don't really want to discuss that, but because like I'm infamous for my features too, Okay. So like the last project I had, Fred the Godson, Tony Sunshine, from he worked with Pun and stuff like that, and he's a singer, so and I had a producer, Terminology.
Simba.
He's an MC also.
By the way, my bad, guys. Simba, SYMBA.
Simba.
That song, Big Homie, featuring 2 Chainz, is a good song. I'll send you that later. But Simba, yeah.
All right, but yeah, and then the Butter mixtape, I had some stuff produced for Static Select. I worked with Cool G Rap, Joel Ortiz.
Okay.
I'm infamous for my features, so it's like, the next project, you don't know who's gonna be on there. It could be somebody like, oh shit, I didn't even know he could do something with this person.
Where do you record, by the way?
It depends. Like if like when I was recording the Butter mixtape, I was in Cali at the time, so I was doing shows out there. So I had to record out there and then send the masters to one of my engineers out here in Queens. Shout out to Rezon. I always go to him when I mix and master my stuff. So, but yeah, in Queens, where I usually record, but I record anywhere as long as they got Pro Tools and stuff.
Right. When's the next show? You have any shows on the horizon?
I just did a show in Tribeca.
Nice.
I just did one, an art show for one of my homegirls, Posh. She's like a dope artist. She was having like a gallery or something like that. And she invited me to do a show, and yeah, I did it.
So female artists, I know you've spoken, highly about like Lauryn Hill. How do you feel about hip hop these days?
As regarding female wise,
yes.
I think it could be a little better. My favorite female artist right now is Rhapsody, though.
Bro, I don't even know if I know who that is.
You better look her up.
We're gonna edit that part out,
man.
dude.
She's dope. She's worked with Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
And I think she signed with Ninth Wonder. I don't know, if you know that.
No, I don't.
All right, he's worked with Jay-Z and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, like she's doing her thing, man. She got this album called Layla's Wisdom.
She's from North Carolina.
Yeah, man, she's dope. And the most thing that I love about her is that she doesn't sexualize her.
Bro, that's
her
the
lines.
best, man.
She's an MC.
Like, there's too much, Meg Thee Stallion, obviously a great rapper,
She's dope. Meg is dope.
Right, but
Meg
there's like a lot, WAP, wet ass pussy,
Right.
You like to hear just like freaking.
It's a time and place for that. It's like, all right, I don't want to hear that all the time. I want to hear how you your skills. You know what I'm saying?
Flow. Yeah.
But,
okay, dope, dude.
She's dope. Rhapsody is dope.
Yes, I mean, yeah, she's worked with like Mac Miller, Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah, man, she's done some things.
Kendrick Lamar, a lot of people. I should have known that.
Layla's Wisdom is a dope album. You should take a listen.
Yeah, and then so would you compare her maybe to like a Lauryn Hill?
I wouldn't say because Lauryn Hill could sing. She can't really sing like that. Rhapsody. That was what was special about Lauryn Hill. She can sing just as good as she can rap. That's very rare.
Word. Yeah.
You know, so
you're right, man. Yeah.
She was like the
That much
blueprint
anymore.
of like Drake. You know, like what he's doing now.
Okay. How do you feel about Drake, man?
But I think he's all right. You know, but just chill with the singing a little bit.
Just all right.
You know? Like I want you to rap
Drake,
more.
dude.
I want you to rap,
Yeah.
you know?
I love Drake, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I like that poppy hip hop and shit. Like,
Right.
I like top 40 and whatever. But I think Drake, in my opinion, has really gotten to a point where I can't be like, oh, you know, he's too poppy and this. I just feel like I feel like he's there. I feel like he's gotten there to the point where it's like it's kind of almost awkward when you're like comparing Jay-Z and Drake, and you're like, Drake is fucking good, man.
Yeah.
Like a verses or something like that.
I never was really a fan of him. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is. I never was really a fan of Drake. Like something just when I first heard of him, something was just like, what is this?
What was that first one? You the fucking best.
No, but I've heard of him before that. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, I think he did like a freestyle on Flex, and this is before Flex was doing the freestyles like for real. Like he this is like one of the first ones he recorded, and he was like holding his phone, and I was like, what is going on? This is like some
maybe
movie
I vaguely
shit.
remember that. He's like
This is
holding
like
his
some
phone
movie
up
shit,
here.
you know, like did Jimmy get shot or something like that? Like what's going on?
Oh
here?
shit, yeah, because he was in Degrassi, he was in the wheelchair. Right,
I don't know, man. You know, hip hop is funny. You know, it's weird, but a lot of people, you know, I think there are a lot of yes men, you know, that are at his stature that give him that credit because they don't want to mess up that relationship. I think.
How do you mean?
You know, like they don't want to say something that can make Drake look bad because they probably want to work with him.
Right.
You know, so
like what happened with Meek Mill and him when they had like that whole freaking breakdown,
that
and then also
stuff.
Yeah. But then Drake came in and then just really freaking killed Meek Mill. It was nuts to see that. You know what I mean?
But
now
it's just like
great to
it's
see
just
that
like,
they're,
you know,
boys again.
That thing was like, oh man, what is going on?
Yeah,
here?
I was
like,
so upset, bro. I love both of them. I was like, guys, stop fighting. You guys are both great.
But Meek thought, like, you know, at the time that saying that he had a ghostwriter and stuff like that would hurt him in this generation. But nowadays, people don't really care.
Because he was also with Nicki at that time,
so,
too. Maybe there was like a little bit of animosity towards the Nicki and Drake
True.
relationship. I think there were a few things happening.
I think what it was is that, I don't know, it was something petty. I remember, like, on Twitter. He didn't want to post
his
album.
His album. That's what it was. That's what it was. Drake apparently didn't
That's kind of weird, though. That is kind of weird. I ain't gonna lie. That is kind of weird. It's like, you know, if you my mans or whatever, like you worked on the album with me, I'm expecting you to be like, yo, like, you know, like, yo, check it out.
I feel you.
You know, like,
I feel you, man.
I don't know, man. Like, it's like if I have you on some skits on one of my projects, I'm sure you're gonna, you know, promote it and you know.
Yeah.
So that is kind of weird. Yeah. That's kind of weird.
But at the same time, would Drake fans be like, yo, why is Meek Mill even making a big deal out of that? Maybe you see it kind of both ways. But at the same time, if you really look into it, and if they were boys and Meek needed that little bit of push, you look to Drake to give him that little push.
Yeah. So, but you know, I don't know, man. Drake is a touchy subject.
Yeah. I feel you, man.
Whatever.
I mean, there's so many guys that are killing it right now, and
put it this way, I'll take Kendrick Lamar over Drake.
Fair enough, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
In terms of like people producing and owning kind of their own shit, I know that like Russ has been a big proponent of like kind of just doing everything together. You know, like producing, writing. And
there's not a lot of people that could do that at a high level, you know. Like there's people that could probably do that, but their music's not good.
Sure.
So it's just like Russ is very special.
It's like a unicorn, you'd say.
Yes, he is. You know who was like that? Logic, I think, was like that also.
Oh yeah.
Logic was like that.
He had bars too. Why are they giving him so much shit, man? He has bars.
Speaking of him, guy. You know, I had him on Facebook for a very long time before he was who he was.
Yeah.
And We were like Facebook rap friends, you know?
Really?
Like yeah, there's like when you rap and you're like on Facebook, you like always want to support other good artists and stuff like that.
Throw 'em a
and
like,
spam your
share.
stuff. And you know, he was one of those dudes. So, you know, we were friends, and I don't know, he just got out. Like,
Where's he from?
he's from Maryland.
And how old is he?
I'm not sure.
27,
I think
28?
He's in his 20s or late 20s or
We're
something.
gonna look that up. So, but kind of what happened with his career though? Because like he was hot for like 2 years, and now where is he?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Like, I just know we was Facebook friends, and like we shared advice with each other and messages and stuff like that.
That's
and
great.
He just blew up and just I don't
31, so he's like around our age, by the way.
Yeah.
But I remember I saw one. I can't remember what it was. A TikTok, Instagram video where he was like, "Yeah, I just don't fuck with anybody. I don't fuck with no one."
Right.
Which is like, I mean, that's kind of how you got to be sometimes. Like, I mean, if you're in a toxic environment or you don't have people around you who are supporting you, you know, you have your friends and family always. But like, I myself have found that like my family, for the most part, has been the most supportive in like doing throughout this comedy journey, podcasts, vlogs, whatever it is.
Right.
Who have you found that has been like, you know, going to the studio? I mean, excuse me, going to like radio with you at 6 a.m. Who have you seen, you know, night and day, always been having your back? If it's a family
it's crazy
member.
because you know, I had recently. I wouldn't say recently. I moved to Staten Island, so that's where I'm currently living at now.
Okay, dope.
And you know, I had met some people over there, and you know, it was a friend of a friend, and you know, we all got together and formed a team. You know, so after that, you know, those guys, they supported me for a while, and you know, we was just a team of like 8 people.
Wow.
And we were making things happen. In the video.
You think 8's a good amount of people, though?
8 to 9 people.
That's a lot,
like
though.
one person doing one thing, one guy managing, one guy making beats, one guy that is a video guy. You know, like, that's like a team.
You didn't feel overwhelmed by having that many people, though?
we had constant meetings. You know, we were always in touch and stuff like that. And, you know, we just had a fallout and stuff like that. So now I'm on my own.
So now it's just you for the most part.
Now it's just me.
So, I mean, what's going to be happening in 2022, man? If you could talk a little bit about that.
Man, the
Only time will tell.
Sky's the limit, bro.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Sky's the limit, man.
Sky's the limit, bro. I
I'm
love
gonna
that.
take over the world, man.
Let's go, bro. I'll
do
come
shit
with you.
Nas, Jay.
Let's go.
Like,
you hear that?
I got a funny story about Jay.
Yeah.
I met him once. It was in Barnes and Noble in 2011.
And Union Square?
Yes. And it was for his Decoded book.
Decoded?
About his life.
Okay.
It was a book called Decoded. And I stood online for 6 hours. I was like, you know what? I don't really care about this book. No, it's just no diss to Jay, but I don't really care about this book. I want to rap for him.
You want to rap for him?
Yeah, so, you know, I stood online for like 6 hours. I was like dressing wise, I was like the loudest person there. Everybody's wearing like calm colors.
Were you wearing like FUBU
I was wearing
or
like
something?
this bright red champion hoodie.
Let's go.
A red hat.
Yeah.
Like I was just so bright. I looked like a walking period. You know, it was crazy, man. But you know, 6 hours. I waited, and it was my go, and like he was surrounded by a little small table, and there were like 2 police officers on the side, and they were just like they told the line. They was just like, all right, we have one rule: is no rhyming, no rapping. So I was like, fuck, how the fuck am I gonna do this?
Yeah.
So I went up to him, and he's like, oh, yeah, nice to meet you. Where you want me to sign? And I was like, yeah, you can sign right there. And then I was like, oh shit, yo, just ask him. Just ask him if you rap. So I asked him, I was like, yo, you think I can spit a 16 for you real quick? And he looked at me, he looked at the crowd behind me, he's like, I got a lot of people to see right now.
Right.
So I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, fuck that. Do it. Go do it. You're not taking no for an answer. So I just rhymed like.
You had 16 ready?
I had
16 bars, by the way. It's a rap.
I had it.
Rap talk.
So, you know, I spit like 4 bars, and they kicked me out, bro. Like, they escorted me out of my arms. Like, they dragged me out. And they threw me out, and I told the security guard, I was like, fuck, give me my book. Give me my shit. I waited 6 hours for that stupid shit. And then she gave me the book, and it was signed. So I was
Yo, the crazy
So I was
thing,
like,
dude.
that's
he's-
weird.
When you
Like-
meet him again, he's gonna remember that.
I still have the book.
That's what's gonna be the funny part. You're gonna
I
be like,
still
bro,
have-
I fucking only have 4 bars from you. I owe you 12. Literally, bro. You speak
Yeah.
about a red hat. So I looked through your following for a second. You follow Larry Bea, the comedian.
Larry, yeah, the black dude.
Larry, yes,
Yeah,
bro.
Larry,
so
Larry.
he did one of my shows like a month ago. I
Yeah,
love
Larry's
that
funny.
guy.
He's
He's so
hilarious.
fucking funny. Larry Bea. If you're listening, man, that red hat dude loves that red hat. Love
Larry's
it, dude.
cool.
Yeah, Larry's a cool ass dude. He's like bouncing around, I guess, between Cali
Right,
and here
right,
too.
right,
But
right.
Larry, very funny comedian, man.
That's funny, man.
Yeah,
But
dude.
yeah, man. That was a crazy time, man. And I'm sure, like, if we ever link up again, it's crazy because
when?
Rock
When
Nation
do
is
you-
right there. Rock Nation is on 10th Avenue, right there, 10th and 11th. You see Meek Mill walk around, you know, like that's what I'm saying. The office is right there, so it's like, is that like a sign? Like, you know, like I'm from here, born and raised. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know, man. If Destiny has it lined up, then yeah, we'll do it.
When Destiny's got it lined up, brother. Frank, I can't wait to do big things with you, man. We'll do this shit fucking in 2 years when we both have billions.
Right.
We're hanging on the fucking yacht, dude. That's gonna be amazing.
Having drinks with Bezos and shit.
Hell yeah, brother. Freaking Frank Castle, bro. Thank you so much for coming on, man. You got anything else you want to freaking let us know before you get out of here, bro? Thank you so much for coming on a whim, man. Pretty safe in this apartment, right? We came over.
this is dope.
I DM'd him on Instagram. I was like, dude, you got to come through. He's like, all right, pull
I'm
up.
around, man. I'm around. You know, I was uptown
Dope.
and shit. But yeah, man. Just prepare for the future. The future is untold, but we're working on something.
Any advice you have to anybody pursuing their passion?
Just never give up and keep on striving. You know, like even if you feel discouraged about something and things aren't going your way, keep doing it. Don't give up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's it.
Just plug yourself really quick. Frank Castle here.
DaRealFrankCastle on Instagram and Twitter, and yeah.
Episode 193, Ted Jones World Podcast. Frank Castle, the legend. And we'll see you guys next time, all right?
All right, man.
Peace.